Okay, so today we're diving into something a bit different, maybe a bit darker. We've got these accounts from a YouTube transcript. It's called 3 True Lockdown Horror Stories.
Yeah, these are first-hand experiences. People talking about really unsettling things that happened when they were stuck in lockdowns, contained.
Exactly. And what we want to do is really unpack them, not just tell the stories, but look at why they felt so terrifying for the people involved.
Right. What were those specific moments, those details in the sources that create that deep sense of unease? We're sort of dissecting the fear, you could say.
We have 3 distinct situations. There's one in a high school bathroom, which sounds awful already.
Yeah.
Then a story from a police officer about a call that really stuck with him.
A really tough one, that one.
And finally, a lockdown situation in a hotel room that takes a very unexpected turn. So let's get into it.
Okay, so that first one, the high school.
Yeah.
It really sets a scene, Junior year, they're down in these basement classrooms.
Right, they called it the chamber. Sounds inviting.
Huh? Yeah, exactly. And it used to be like janitorial space, remodeled. But the key thing, the really important detail, is no intercoms down there.
So cut off already, basically. Then a lockdown gets called. But they don't hear it.
Nope. So they think, great, chance to sneak upstairs, typical kid stuff.
But then they open the door to the main floor, and it's pitch black. All the lights are out.
And that's the immediate shift, isn't it? Because normally lockdown, you'd expect lights on. Hallway lights, at least.
Yeah, the darkness, it just flips the script. Suddenly, it's not just messing around. It feels wrong, genuinely wrong.
It ramps up that anxiety immediately.
Yeah.
And then just as they step out, they see someone.
A man coming out of the shadows. And the description is specific, not a teacher, not staff. Dressed like a bum is the term used.
That visual, combined with the dark, the lockdown, it just screams threat, doesn't it?
Totally. Their reaction says it all. They just bolt back down to the basement.
Right, pure instinct. But their classrooms are dark, doors shut, so the only place they can think of is the bathroom they just left.
So they duck in there, turn off the light, hide in a stall. Now they're confined, but it's for safety, supposedly.
And the account mentions the silence. It's absolute silence in there. No fans, no heaters, nothing.
Just their own breathing, maybe a dripping sound. That kind of quiet makes every little noise jump out at you.
It really does. And then the silence breaks. The main bathroom door opens. Just a crack of light.
Oh, man.
Then slams shut. Back to total darkness. And then they hear it. Footsteps.
Coming towards their side of the bathroom?
Exactly. Stopping right outside their stalls.
Yeah.
And then just heavy breathing.
Yeah, that detail, the heavy breathing, it's so close. So immediate, you know someone is right there.
It confirms it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Someone's actively there right outside. And then one of them makes a mistake.
Whispers something?
Yeah. In that silence, it carries. And the breathing stops.
Oh, no.
And then the person starts pushing on their stall door, physically trying to get in.
That's when it becomes real. Tangible. Not just scary sounds, but a physical threat.
Absolutely. So they have to move. They describe crawling under the stall walls, shuffling from one to the next.
While this person is now, banging hard on the first stall door.
Full on banging, yeah.
Yeah.
They finally get to the other side, manage to crack the main bathroom door open.
And see him, the same guy from upstairs, now basically trapped in the bathroom with them.
Just terrifying. They manage to slip out, get into a nearby classroom. Teacher locks the door. But then comes this chilling detail.
One of them says they saw a gun.
Right, sticking out of his pocket. Now, whether both saw it or just one thought they saw it, the mention of a gun just escalates everything.
Instantly. The whole mood in that classroom changes. Kids aren't messing around anymore. They're scared. Properly scared.
And that locked door doesn't feel so safe when the guy is banging on it, trying the handle, looking through the window. The account mentions his anger.
He wasn't just there. He was actively trying to get in to them.
It shows how vulnerable even a locked classroom can feel. They wait over an hour like that, in silence, before police finally escort them out.
And the account ends with this feeling of no closure. School security gets better, sure, but they never find out who he was or why he was there. Just this lingering certainty that he meant harm.
He leaves a really cold feeling, that one. The idea of a threat just appearing like that.
Yeah. Okay, let's shift gears. The next story is from a retired police officer. He calls this the single most disturbing call in his entire 20-year career.
Which says a lot, coming from law enforcement. This happened during a lockdown, too. Middle school this time. Dark, stormy day.
And the initial call itself is worrying. Someone saw a suspicious man get out of a white van behind the school.
And go in through a back door. near the boys' locker room.
Yeah.
So it sounds targeted, specific, not random.
The officer gets there, finds the van empty, locked. He goes in through that same back door. And inside, dark again, lights off. He needs his flashlight.
And almost immediately, someone from the office warns him, check the boys' locker room, but be careful. He might be armed.
So the danger level is immediately high. He calls for backup, but doesn't wait. Goes towards the locker room alone.
Opens the door quietly. And inside, pitch black. No windows in this locker room.
Again, sound becomes crucial. He hears something faint, like scratching, or little dings on the lockers.
Yeah, metallic sounds. And he knows protocol says announce himself. Police. But he admits, flat out, he was too scared.
Wow. From a 20-year veteran, that really tells you something about the atmosphere in there.
It really does. Pure fear. So he's creeping through the dark, flashlight out, gun ready.
Yeah.
And the sounds seem to move away from him.
Like he's being evaded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or hunted. He goes one way, the sound moves to the other side. Classic horror movie stuff almost.
And then suddenly, bam!
A locker door slams shut, loudly.
From an adjoining room, a football locker room.
Makes him jump, naturally. He moves towards that sound, finds the football area, no dividing door. He finally steels himself, shouts, "Police!"
And what happens next is just awful.
It's the absolute core of the horror. After he shouts, he hears this muffled scream, "Help me!" and pounding coming from inside one of the lockers.
Oh my God, a kid.
A kid trapped inside a locker. He says he felt instantly sick to his stomach. That physical reaction.
You can only imagine. So he tells the boy he'll be right back, runs outside to check the van again.
And here's where he says he made his biggest mistake. He hadn't gotten the license plate earlier.
And the van's gone.
Vanished. As this layer of frustration and failure almost on top of the horror, he immediately puts out an alert for it.
Back inside, they get the school day ended, get a key for that locker.
The account suggests the man likely had a knife, was trying to force the boy who was only 12 into the van. The boy was bleeding because he fought back.
So it wasn't just being trapped, it was an active abduction attempt. Horrifying.
Absolutely. The story does have a resolution, sort of.
Yeah.
They spot the van a week later. The man is identified and arrested. But for the officer,
It's the memory, right? His own fear, finding that terrified child, the armed intruder in a dark school, the van getting away, that's what sticks.
it really drives home how a secure place like a school can become terrifyingly unsafe when someone gets inside during that kind of lockdown chaos.
Which leads us, weirdly, to our third account. Different setting, but similar themes. This is someone staying alone in a hotel.
Right, visiting a university, just back in the room after dinner, planning the next day. Pretty normal stuff.
Until about 8 p.m., a strange alarm starts. Flashing lights. And this looping message.
All Hampton Inn guests, please remain in your rooms. This is a lockdown. Over and over.
And initially, the person finds it kind of interesting, exciting even, not scary.
Which is such a contrast to what's coming. The alarm sound eventually stops, but the light keeps flashing, the message keeps repeating every 20 seconds.
Yeah, still early evening, so they try to ignore it, watch TV, get ready for bed. But that flashing light,
Becomes annoying, right? Hard to sleep. So they're just about to call the front desk about it when the room phone rings.
and it is the front desk. But not about the flashing light.
No. The voice on the other end is described as very concerned. Tells them to stay calm and walk out of the room. Now.
They ask why, what's going on, and the front desk just drops this bomb. There was somebody in the room with me and to get out immediately.
Can you even imagine hearing that? The sheer terror. Going from mild annoyance about a flashing light to that.
Instant panic. The account says they dropped the phone. Just react. Start searching the room frantically.
Under the bed, empty. Bathroom, empty. Everything looks clear.
But then, the closet. It's one of those wooden sliding doors. And it's open just a tiny crack.
Just a sliver. And through that crack,
Yeah.
they see a face.
God, just no.
A person's face staring back from inside the closet. That visual. In your own hotel room.
The source says there's this moment of disbelief, but then the closet door slides shut.
That confirms it, right? The movement proves it was real. And that's when they just freak out and run out the door.
Completely understandable. Later, the front desk shows them security footage.
Yeah, confirms it all. Shows this sketchy guy trying doors, somehow getting a key card for their room.
And the final image is seeing the guy described as shorter, maybe in his 40s, being led away in chains by police. And he looks right at the person telling the story.
Like he knew who they were. Just adds another layer of creepy.
And the chilling question the account leaves you with is, how long was he in there?
They suspect maybe over an hour, watching from the closet during that whole interesting lockdown period.
Which just reframes the entire experience from a minor inconvenience to this prolonged period of hidden observation and extreme vulnerability in a place that should feel totally private.
It's that invasion of supposedly safe space, that feeling of being watched or hunted when you least expect it. That's what these accounts really capture, I think.
Definitely. Across all three stories, you see this pattern. Lockdown happens, creates containment.
But then an unexpected threat appears inside that contains space, and suddenly the security vanishes. These places, schools, hotels, become permeable, vulnerable.
And the real power, the thing that makes them stick with you, are those specific, awful details from the sources,
Yeah, like the suspicion of the gun in the high school, that feeling of being hunted in the dark bathroom.
Or the police officer, his admitted fear, the absolute horror of finding that trapped kid, and the van just disappearing.
And in the hotel, that terrifying confirmation, seeing the face, just that slit of vision through the closet crack.
It makes you think, doesn't it? About how safe you really feel in places you consider normal, secure. A school hallway, a hotel room, even a bathroom stall.
These moments described in the sources really challenge that sense of everyday safety. They show how quickly things can change when the outside world is supposedly shut out, but danger finds another way in.
So the thought to maybe leave you with is, what does that kind of raw fear, the fear documented in these accounts, and the way it clearly lingered with these people, what does it tell us about how thin that line really is between feeling safe and facing sudden danger, especially when everything is supposed to be locked down?
Something definitely worth considering.